Hey everyone, welcome to Tulsa Music Stream. My name is Scott Squires. This is Jana right here.
Good evening, everybody.
We have Nine. He's staying home tonight,
Yes.
and recently lost a friend,
Yes.
and so we are going to carry the show with Mike Kroeger from Nickelback.
Yes, we're starting the show certainly with heavy hearts tonight. We want to dedicate this show to the memory of Scott Gurley and Tommy Sartain. We lost both of those guys, within the last week. It's been a very difficult week for the music world, the national music world, as well as our local music community. It's been tough, and understandably, Nine asked if he could sit this one out. Tommy was a former bandmate of his, and certainly he had our blessing to do that.
Yeah. So please, if you would, help us share the stream on your personal pages and your favorite groups, your Rocklahoma groups and all that good stuff, and see if we can get more people in here. It's a Thursday night. There shouldn't be any reason why there's no one in here.
Not at all. And I want to just start the whole show off by saying this. Both Cox and AT&T are doing work in our area, and we're only streaming on Facebook tonight. We already have had a little bit of a concern. So if the stream freezes on you, please just stick with it. It will hopefully come back. If it doesn't, if it just stalls out, then please go look for it again. Hopefully we're going to get through this. If the work is going to continue for a while, we may put the episodes on hold until this work is completed and we can have a solid connection, because too much work goes into this for us to just be fighting technical glitches all night long.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and kick this Zoom meeting off, and we will try to get Mike Kroeger in here momentarily. There's a couple things I need to start.
Being recorded.
Okay, we'll get that. We'll start our virtual camera. All kinds of fun stuff has to happen. And I'll watch for Mike to come in. Again, we want to thank you guys. This interview tonight is made possible by our connection with Todd Cook is at Identity Merch. Is actually friends with Mike. And he helped arrange this very cool meeting. We're super excited about it. I need to start one more thing here. Talk a little bit, Scott, about...
Well, there's always that whole vibe about, especially online, if there's a certain, trend that goes on that people just like to blast and blah, 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 But, a cool thing about Mike Kroeger is that they've have a lot of friendship with Dimebag and actually done a song with them that I want to talk to him about, that they pulled some leads from Dime. So they're they have a lot of heavy influences and things like that. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. And
that's cool.
Yeah, and there's been a lot of also a lot of things I want to bring up to him about ZZ Top, Dusty Hill recently passing, and a lot of rock stars, Slipknot's drummer, and just a lot of things that are kind of going on that's just not, so great in the music world,
It's been awful. I mean, to put it mildly, it has been... I mean, you wake up in the morning, you're like... it sounds crazy, but you almost say to yourself, who are we going to lose today? And we certainly hope that will stop for a while. Again, we do want to send our condolences to those who have lost loved ones. Here is Mike. We're going to go ahead and bring him on in, guys. Let's see here. Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Oh, he's still connected. There you are.
What's up, you guys?
Hey, how you doing?
Doing all right. Doing all right.
Good, man. Thank you for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. I'm going to let Scott kick this thing off with you here.
Welcome to the show, Tulsa Music Stream. We're proud to have you on here. Awesome. I know you've got a lot on your plate. There's a lot of things probably brewing in the Nickelback camp, but I wanted to start off this show with all the recent bad news has been going on in the heavy metal rock and roll world, with Dusty Hill passing and Cinderella's Jeff LaBar, Slipknot's Joey Jordison, everybody. It's just kind of hard to wrap my head around a lot of this stuff that's going on. Do you have any memories with any of these guys?
Not to mention Mike from Metal Church. It's been kind of a shit week. To be honest. Because Slipknot and us were on the same label, we did never really crossed paths with Joey, but I did meet some of the other Slipknot guys, and I've become friends with them, and Dusty met a couple times, just by sheer luck. Got to meet that guy. That was amazing. But it's been kind of a series of gut punches in the last week to rock and roll, basically.
No kidding, no kidding. When I was setting this interview up with you a couple months ago, I believe you had mentioned to me that you guys were either getting ready to, or you were in the middle of recording new music. Is that happening right now?
That is happening right now. Yes.
Excellent.
Music is being composed and recorded up in Canada. We were after it, and then there's a little something came up, and our man producer had to take some time off. So I took that opportunity to scoot back down here to Los Angeles with my family and get spend a little bit of time at home.
Wonderful.
But I'll be headed back up there in a couple of weeks to pick it up again.
Okay.
So this is album number 10, right?
Wow, that's crazy. And, it's like that. That reminds me of what just happened to me when I was just out shopping for some stuff, and I heard of this person in front of me got asked their date of birth, and said 1997. I was like, oh,
right.
It's getting tough, isn't it?
I was old then. It made me realize. But you could say we're getting old. Yeah.
I remember being a kid, and I was a big Kiss fan. I still am, and I'd collect, had all their albums, and I remember just counting them, 1, 2, 3, and then of course I'd had to count double platinum and even like the solo records. But you guys have no solo records, and so 10 is a huge number because I remember like counting all those and just think, wow, what a lot of records, So I can imagine what you feel like. You see a stack of CDs or whatever, and say, man, those are all ours. Wow,
that's cool.
Yeah, we have been busy throughout our career, no question about that. A lot of people, the ones who kind of sort of heard about us in the heat of our career, and the biggest part when everything was going completely mental worldwide. A lot of people are unaware that we've done anything since like 2005. Which is kind of funny because we never stopped ever. It's just things change in the music business, and the attention goes to other things, and now we're just settled in with our people and continuing to work forward and give them more music.
So let's talk a little bit about that. What are your thoughts on the current state of the music industry? Obviously, you guys had an unbelievable 2005, and that whole era was just magical for you. I mean, I read a recent interview where you said you all were releasing singles that were competing with each other. Now that's just amazing. I mean, not many people in the world get to accomplish something like that. But as far as from that time frame to where we are now, what do you feel is going on with the music industry? Do you think it's growing? Do you think it's kind of grown stagnant? Do we need some fresh, hot new rock bands to shake things up? What are your thoughts on that?
I'm excited about a lot of the new new rock bands that are coming in now, and they're because I'm kind of a metalhead. That's kind of where my head is at. So there is some new young talent coming up that I'm really excited about, and the old standbys keep going too. Some of my favorite bands are 20 years into their careers, and they're still cracking. So I couldn't be happier really with how things are going now. Where rock fits into everything, I don't know. It's a hard time to be a sort of rock band like us, I guess, because we're not the flavor of the month at the moment. But I think it's coming back around. I think it'll always be in a cycle, and that cycle will always come around to there's a lot of people that just want to hear guitar rock, and I think where you guys are geographically, it never really went away. There's a few places in the world like where you guys are at in Tulsa that just kept rocking the whole time and didn't stop.
That's true.
And those places are some of our favorite places.
Well, we don't take things for granted. There seems to be a lot of other places that may do something like that. But I do want to touch a little bit about
maybe that's what it is, or maybe just the attention span. There's a lot of things fighting for your attention span out there, and
right.
You can't expect everybody to be able to keep up with everything. Sometimes sometimes tastes change, and the attention span is only so big.
Well, just remember all the great ones, you know, their career is a roller coaster. You know, Kiss went through their phases, you know, and they had to put the makeup back on, and then boom, here they come. You know, it's just sort of how it kind of seems to go with a lot of these bands, you know, Motley Crue even, and you know, but I wanted to touch a little bit on what you said about your heavy metal, you know, roots and everything. You know, you were signed, was it back in 1999 to Roadrunner Records. Now, when I remember me growing up, Roadrunner Records meant King Diamond. And, you know, I bought King Diamond records, and they were under Roadrunner Records. What was your early days being under Roadrunner Records like?
Well, I guess we didn't really have anything to compare it to because we'd never been on a label before. So we didn't really know what normal label interface was because we'd never done it before. But I know that I was a huge fan of Roadrunner Records, actually.
Yeah.
Whenever something I found came out new on Roadrunner, I would buy it just because it was on Roadrunner. Most times, well, all the time, but frankly, it was something that I never heard before, you know, or never heard of before, but I kind of had trust in that label, and I would just buy albums because they were on that label. Like, you know, this first Sepultura record, I bought it because it was on Roadrunner Records. You know?
Had a lot of obscure
that
stuff.
led to a lot of quitting.
Yeah.
Yes,
awesome.
a lot.
Now you said something about, you know, the flavor of the week, and you know, I'm sure this question pops up all the time, you know, and people like us, we get on the internet and we see this and that, but you know, you said Tulsa still rocks and stuff, but man, I went to, you know, just to share this stream in some of your guys' groups, and you know, I kind of do that with a lot of the people who we bring on the show. And, you know, some bands will have just a few groups on Facebook, but man, you guys have a shitload of groups. Yeah. So, I mean, believe it or not, I mean, still guys are popular one way or another. I mean, you guys are still huge. I mean, we're talking 50 million records, and that is an achievement. I mean, has that even sunk into you? I mean, 50 million records, that's just a milestone.
Yeah, it's there's a lot of funny ways to say it, that, you know, like a lot of punchlines to make about it, but the fact is it's kind of difficult to understand. You know, after when you first begin this thing, it's really, you just want to record one record and just make one album.
Right.
To have some people like that enough to get it is special. Now, these numbers you're talking about are an entirely different world. That's I don't know what 50 million of anything looks like.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I don't know. I don't have that. I don't understand that. So I guess I try not to dwell on it too much. Just and just keep putting one foot in front of the other. Keep moving forward with the mission. You know? More rock, more tours.
Do you remember the day when, you know, you guys were a struggling band? Because, you know, we're musicians too, and you know, we've played the club circuit and did all these things, and you know, tried to tour and put out all these records. You have to finance it ourselves, and you're broke every day. You know, you're living in.
I don't know if you can hear me, but that looks like
you're walking. You know,
hold on.
Oh, sorry.
Are you frozen? Are we frozen up on your end?
Yeah, I froze there for a second.
Okay.
It was right at the top of your question too. So.
Shoot. Yeah, they're doing some work on the, our internet company's doing some work in the area, of course, you know, now that we need to interview you. So if it cuts out, just bear with us, and hopefully it'll pick back up. Sure. But I'm going to let him repeat his question to you here.
Yeah, all right.
Okay, so I mean, do you remember the day that, you know, things kind of changed? You know, me and her and, you know, a lot of our friends, we were all in rock groups, and, you know, touring and playing in clubs and laying on, you know, sleeping on friends' couches and things like that. I mean, do you remember the day or the moment where you were like, oh my God, I no longer have to do that no more. Now it's just, you know, it's more freedom, I guess, would be, you know.
Yeah, I don't recall an exact date or sort of like event or whatever, but I do remember the day that I realized I wouldn't have to work the kind of, to me, they were side jobs, you know, like other people were doing those jobs for a living, but that wasn't what I was doing for a living. I was paying bills so I could play music, right? So I do remember the day when, you know, I realized that I not only could, but I kind of had to go quit all those jobs because I wasn't going to be around.
Right.
So not only could I afford to quit because we were actually starting to make a living, and but also in addition to that, there's no way I could hold down a job because we were going to be touring globally.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's incredible. Well, we're going to tear through some questions because, again, this internet connection's kind of rough, and I don't want to waste your time, but I want to make the most of the time we have with you. Let's talk gear a little bit. Let's talk about, and I've got a picture here I want to put up. You are sponsored by Spectre Bass, and correct me if I'm wrong. This is your signature bass model. Is that correct?
That's right. That's signature. Yeah, that's my MK5. Yes.
So tell us about your relationship with Spectre, how you got involved with them, and just your feelings about the Spectre line. It's got to be, I know it's one of the top bass lines out there.
Yeah. You know, I had the opportunity to work with just about anybody. With the, you know, regards to the bass companies, they were all there. You know, when things started to really go off, you know, everybody was kind of interested. You know, when things, what's that saying? You're grinning when you're winning. You know, everybody wanted to be in business when, you know, business was good. Right. After we struggled for a couple of years and basically made economic decisions of whether to buy strings or food, you know, after you start to actually hit it, that's when you get everything free, which is, it's a real crap irony for you know, up and coming musicians that are having to do that. But you know, everybody kind of came out, and I saw and felt and played some beautiful instruments and met some great people. Everybody was awesome, but there was a kind of, it seemed like there was an initial connection that was better with Spectre. And as I got to know PJ and Stuart Spectre, I started to realize that this is very much a family kind of operation, you know, and that people were truly in it for the love, you know. To them, making these things is art. And when I played them, I felt something that felt the best to me. You know, and it sounded like I wanted the bass to sound for this band.
Right.
You know, so it was a good. It was just, I don't know. It was just a good fit from the get go. They were really accommodating, and it seemed like they really wanted me, which was really nice. And you know, and of course the tones and the equipment are fantastic, but really it came down to people. Sure,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Have you always been a 5-string guy? Did you ever play 4?
When I first started, I started playing 4 strings, and I don't know what happened, but I tried out a 5-string once, and I just kind of liked the string spacing a little bit better. Not to mention the lower register as well. You know, 5 more tones is nice. You know, and so I really, you know, I started to enjoy the low register right away. Like, the lower than E playing was something that I really liked. And a lot of people, you know, said, well, why don't you just play a 4-string, you know, strung down like that? And, you know, to be honest, I do rarely touch on the high G string, but I do like the string spacing the best in the 5-string configuration.
That's awesome. Plus they just sound mean. Like you say, when you hit that low note, it just growls. And,
yeah, that's what we're looking for.
And you know, there was other comments that you made in the interview I read and I just really appreciate your approach to the instrument. You talked about how you approach it with a less is more, and you also approach it with making it about the song rather than yourself. And you know, any of us who play music know that without a solid rhythm section and foundation, you have absolutely nothing. And of course, what the bass provides is you know, a lot of what gets the girls dancing. So it's a very I really respect your approach to the instrument and how you make it about the song. Is that something, have you always felt that way, or is that just an attitude you grew into as you grew in your career playing?
Well, you know, early in my time playing, I, you know, like most, if not all bass players, you realize who the sort of real standouts are, you know, the Flea, the Les Claypools of the world, you know, the Jaco Pastoriuses of the world, and you listen to that, and especially when you're just beginning, you naturally want to be great like that. And you want to try to do those things that those people did or do. But, you know, it's those people play or played, that's their personality, right? That's not, I don't think you can just decide to be that and do it in a convincing fashion. You know, I think there's lots of people that can play notes like Flea, but they don't sound like Flea. Right. You know, and what I realized was I had to be a little bit more honest about who I was and what am I like, and what do I want to bring, and the thing that I kind of learned over the years is I need drums. You know, I need drums to play. You're not gonna catch me playing a bass solo every time that joke comes up, and it's not gonna happen. I don't need to try out my effects pedals for 15,000 people.
That's awesome, man.
That's not me anyway. I'm not a show off type of person. Like, if I could play behind the lights, I would. You know, I'm not really up there I don't care. I just enjoy playing the music. So I don't need to draw attention to myself. Actually, I prefer not to. And the other thing, like you mentioned, you know, the girls don't dance to bass solos. You know, if you can't make the booty shake, you're failing at your job, in my opinion. Right. You know, what I was learning from was like bass players like Aston Barrett from Bob Marley's band. You know, that's a guy who, you know, when he would play, it just like megaton heavy and simple. You know, really, really simple and really straightforward stuff. Playing to the song, playing with the vocal, staying out of the way of the vocal. I think to me, that's the name of the game.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
What a great attitude.
Now, I know you recently were kind of stated that you wanted to release an album cover of Slayer tunes, and then you know, recently I guess that may not happen. How serious were you with that?
Well, the thing that happened in that interview was that I said I'd like to do a Slayer cover album, and I guess I was a little vague because I meant me.
Right.
Me, not Nickelback. I didn't mean Nickelback's going to do a Slayer record. I meant I'd like to do a Slayer record. And naturally, you know, that's something that could be used to rile up the metal community. This guy from Nickelback thinks he's going to, you know, and whatever. So it was kind of like a little on the clickbait spectrum, I'd call it. But I, you know, that hasn't changed. I'm still a huge fan of Slayer, and I love metal music. I'm just kind of discovering that, you know, I don't really prefer to listen to the kind of music that I make. Mm-hmm. And I don't really like to play the kind of music that I prefer to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Odd, right?
It's like someone who works in a donut shop doesn't want to eat donuts anymore.
Yeah. But at the same time, I love this other music, but I don't really play it. And it's not because I can't or whatever. I don't know. I've thought about playing other bands or putting other bands together, but I only really want to play in Nickelback, to be honest with
you. Yeah. Well, yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Right.
I mean, geez, let's just run through some of these stats.
And while you're doing that, you guys have recently, well, not recently, but a while back, you guys played some heavy tunes like live, just like, you know, we can do it. It's like, it's not you know, it's not out of our wheelhouse. We can do this, you know.
Yes.
So that was impressive.
All of us, each one of us in this band has a heavy metal head side. Everyone, you know, some more than others. But we all grew up with Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax. You know, I brought Slayer into the mix. Not all the guys did. Right. But, you know, that was our childhood together.
Absolutely.
Super
awesome.
Cool.
So what do you got?
Oh, I mean, I know you know these already, but just in case any of the viewers out there have forgotten, let's just talk about what this gentleman and his cohorts have accomplished. Sold more than 50 million albums nationwide. In 2009, you guys were ranked the most successful rock group, not of that year, but of that decade. And then, of course, the 2005 smash album, All the Right Reasons, produced 3 top 10, 5 top 20 singles on the Billboard Hot 100. And, you know, we're not going to sit here and go, oh, man, what's it like? What's it like? Because obviously you are super down to earth. You wouldn't have come on our goofy little stream if you weren't. And we really appreciate you doing this with us. You know, I want to ask you a little bit about the family dynamic. I'm sure you get asked this all the time. But there's a reason I'm asking you as well. He and I are married. We're in a band together. And I distinctly remember a conversation we had in 2005 of all years when we met. And we decided we're going to date each other and be in a band together. And we both said, look, here's the deal. We don't want our bandmates to feel like we're this two-headed monster that always thinks and feels the same way, and we're going to gang up on our band members and we're going to get our way. Do you remember having that a similar type conversation with Chad where you said, hey, let's make sure we function as 2 separate individuals with 2 different opinions? Because let's face it, he and I, like, we disagree on a lot of things. I'm sure you guys probably do too. What's that like?
Well, so to answer the question directly, no, we never had that moment where we decided not to gang up on everybody, because me and Chad are kind of just a 2-guy gang, really. Fortunately for anybody that tangles with one of us, you get both of us.
I gotcha.
But the other thing, you know, this thing is a multi-headed monster. You know, we have a democracy. We work together. You know, everybody brings something different to the table as it regards how we operate this organization. And, you know, sometimes you need an attack dog, sometimes you need a politician, sometimes you need a negotiator, and we have all of those.
Right.
You know, but yeah, it's very much a family affair all the way around. You know, between me and Chad, of course, but then, you know, our man Ryan, you know, we've known him. I know him. I remember the day that him and his brother joined our junior high school in Hannah. I remember that day very clearly. His brother was actually in my class. So, you know, we go way back. So it is very, very much family, very much a family thing. And yeah, it's like, it's a sum of its parts, you know. Mm-hmm. We have a number of different people who do very, very different things. And you know what? The truth is Chad and I, we don't have to agree to disagree. We disagree on lots of stuff. Sure. You know, we're just about diametrically opposed as human beings. You know, I'm married with 2 kids. He has been married, it didn't work out. He doesn't have any kids. It's not really his deal. You know, right. We're very, very different. We lead different lives and have different ideas of what's a good time.
That's cool.
Yeah,
man.
that is cool.
Very cool.
You guys are also very friends with the Pantera crew, Dimebag and all those guys. You guys, you know, were friends of theirs. They're, you know, fans of each other's bands and everything. And you know, shortly after Dimebag's murder, you guys put out a song, I believe it's called "Side of the Bullet."
Yes.
And then you guys actually retrieved some of Dimebag's solo work.
Yeah.
Exactly how did you retrieve some or get some of that solo work?
Well, it wasn't like it was a cold call, right? You know, we had hung out with those fellas lots, and Dime's girl Rita Haney was friends with us, and it was easy to reach out and just say, hey, here's what we're trying to do. You know, can you help us? And Vinny was very helpful in tracking down that footage of sort of the solos that made the cutting room floor of Dimes that we were able to stitch together and make that be the part, you know, the part for the song. And it was really special to be on record with him, you know, as anybody who's, you know, played with that guy, you know, would be able to attest. Unfortunately, we never got to do that because it would have been a cool thing to be able to have him jump on stage and do that shit. But, you know, that's the past. And poor Vincent was, he never really recovered after his brother left us. He was never, I don't think I ever saw him happy again.
Oh man, that's
really
unfortunate.
terrible. Yeah.
I want to go back to what we kind of started the conversation with, or one of the first things we talked about was your new recording. Do you guys have like a projected release date for this material, or is it just too early in the process to tell?
So release dates are primarily arrived at by business interests like record labels or whatever. We don't have one of those. We've been managing ourselves for about a year. So the answer is no. We're doing it at our own schedule, at our own pace, and it'll be done when it's done. And, we've always had because we've blown up deadlines in the past,
Sure.
lots of times, because we feel that you can make a good record and be late, but you can't, or you shouldn't make a shitty record to be on time.
Right.
And so we won't be pressed for time. And in this case, we don't even have to worry about that because we're on our own schedule. We're doing what we want to do when we want to do it. We're paying for everything. Nobody can tell us what to do.
Man,
we just have to decide when we want to go on tour. It turns out we're booking a tour for next summer. So we'll have to get some stuff squared away and out there to the people in advance of that.
So speaking of tours, who are some of your favorite bands that you guys have toured with over the years?
Oh, well, we've had endless amounts of fun with the Seether fellas.
Okay.
The Shinedown guys are like brothers to us. The Three Doors Down guys, we essentially started our career touring with them. Boy, I don't even know where to start. There's so many artists. We are, very much looking forward to traveling with STP next summer. I hope that happens. That's what was, as you probably know, that's what our tour was supposed to be in 2020. We were supposed to go on the road with STP, and everything was set up, and then our friend COVID happened and pushed everything back 2 years. So we just have to make sure that they have room on their schedule for us.
STP is one of my favorite. I'm a big fan of Scott Weiland. Their new guy is just out there just doing his thing, and it's some big shoes to fill, but he's out there doing it, man. So I hope the tour goes great for you guys, man, and for them as well.
I hope it happens because I want to watch those guys every night. I'm such a huge fan of their band. We actually toured with them back in the Scott Weiland time. We played a bunch of festivals with them in Europe. Some of the biggest festivals there are. We played with them in Europe, and it was just unbelievable to watch those guys play every night. And I can't wait to see it again. If we can get them on the road again, I will have like a lawn chair side stage every night. I'll be watching those. I'll just sit there with soda and every night, every night.
It's so cool how you're just so level-headed as far as being a fan of the rock and roll, the bands and everybody, and you seem to have not lost any of that. So that's really cool, man.
That is cool.
Well, that is especially those guys. That's music I was listening to, when I was thinking about playing. When I was thinking about starting. We were listening to that stuff. So it's special to me.
That's cool.
Do you guys still have a relationship with? I'm assuming you had a relationship to begin with. If not, please correct me. But do you still hear from or see Tiger Woods?
Haven't seen Tiger Woods in quite some time. I feel a lot of concern for him right now. I'm glad he didn't check out when he got in his car accident. But no, haven't spoken to him in quite some time. But now, it used to be with Tiger, it was about, is he going to come back and be the best golfer in the world again? Mm-hmm. Now it's more a matter of, is he going to walk again?
Right.
It's tough.
I think you got to be realistic and take what life gives you.
Sure.
And right now, he's lucky to be alive.
Right. Let's talk about something completely different. People may not know this about you, but you are a gemologist, correct?
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
So when did you get into that?
So what happened is in the late 90s, when we first were starting this band, I met my wife, and she's a jeweler. a goldsmith designer. Like she makes jewelry and designs jewelry here in Hollywood. You know, we've started work here. Oh, there you go, House of Raven. There you have it.
Yep.
That is my lovely wife, and she kind of, in a way, gave me the bug, because while we were working on our career, our days were fairly, open in the beginning when we weren't going on tour and things. So I was helping her out, doing runs and seeing what she was doing, and I'd see the diamonds and things like that, and found it really, really fascinating. Turned out even back then you could study online. So I started that in, I think it was like 98 or 99. Mm-hmm. And it was going really good. And I was about 3/4, maybe 80% of the way to my degree. And then, oh shit, Nickelback hits the big time. And that was, 2001. When How You Remind Me happened and all that, and then by that time we already had our son. Our daughter was to arrive a couple years later, but that was full-blown touring. So my wife, essentially gave up. I always found that business very interesting, and I was looking into it, and it was starting to look like it was going to be a really long time out of my life to. At this age, 5 years, 7 years, it means a lot more than it does when you're 20, and so I was thinking, I don't know if I have the stomach for, going to university, getting my shit together, and then getting my law degree. I just, I really didn't think that was gonna work. So as I was puzzling about that, I realized that, oh shit, I actually have a degree that's incomplete. Maybe I should finish that.
Right.
So luckily they had my whole program was paid for in advance, and they were nice enough to, let me finish it after 20 years off.
So she designs, and then are you the guy that puts them together?
No, I could more consult when it comes to the gems and stones. When it's time to choose a stone, or whatever, a diamond or whatever kind of precious stone we're working with, that's what I do. I right. kind of specialize in that stuff. That's cool. we have a kind of a staff people that handle that kind of assembly and that sort of thing here downtown LA. But she comes up with the idea. She does a lot of the work herself. She carves the stuff, wow. out of wax with her hands. So she's kind of like my brother. She takes something. Well, she takes nothing and turns it into something. She takes a worthless piece of wax and turns it into a piece of art, just like Chad takes a phrase or whatever, or a riff, and turns it into a song. These people, these creative people that make these sparks, I'm surrounded by them. Both of my kids are the same way. They're both creatives as well.
How old are your kids, if I can ask?
Oh, sure. They're 18 and 20. And they both have music careers. They're going full steam right now. And my daughter's, my daughter being the model for House of Raven, is also pursuing a modeling career. So I'm not too worried about that.
Sounds like they're going to be just fine. I'm going to put this up one more time, because I was checking out the jewelry on houseofraven.com, and it is.
She wants me to buy her some.
I do.
I said no.
Oh, come on now. It's absolutely beautiful, and I would like to ask people to, after you finish watching our interview with Mike, that you hop on houseofraven.com and just check out
our Instagram is even better.
Is it?
Yeah, we truly work out of the Instagram for the most part. The website is just it's basically a landing page at this point. It's fairly limited, but our Instagram is where we operate.
Okay, and I assume that's also under the House of Raven name on Instagram.
It is.
Okay, excellent. Well, we will make sure we check that out.
If you guys need something, I'd be happy to help you.
Okay, that sounds great. You've been super gracious with your time. I want to ask you, I don't know if Scott, do you have anything before I kind of wrap this up with Mike?
I did. It was just quick one in my head, but then you guys went off on something else.
On jewelry. We were talking about jewelry.
Now I know. You guys have played, multiple times here in Tulsa, and every time you guys play here, it's always a packed out show. What are some of your fond memories of Tulsa when you come here? or what have you done when you've been here? Anything come to
Well,
mind?
you know, thankfully, we always have had a good time in Tulsa. Actually, I do recall backstage in Tulsa with the guys from a band called Hinder. And we tore up that backstage in a big way. And there's actually, you know, I don't know if you're aware of Hinder.
Oh, yeah.
But there's a lot of things we can't talk about, let's say.
Oh, jeez. Oh, geez.
The little bits I remember are on the shaky side of being legal.
Well,
wow.
We would.
Yeah, those guys were off. They were pretty. They, you know, for all the rock stars like me who don't really do the rock star thing, oh God, they did it for everybody. Yeah. They didn't leave much behind. They sucked the marrow out of life. Let's put it that way.
Wow.
Very good. Well,
there
you guys did it right.
You got some Tulsa dirt right there, man.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's good stuff. So let me just ask you this, and we again thank you for your time tonight. What one of the most obviously one of the most successful musicians ever in the rock field. What is your advice to people who are trying to make it in this very difficult industry in 2021?
The answer to this question has really changed over about the last 50 years.
Yeah.
You know, there were, you know, certain things that were, you know, I would have an advice, a kind of, you know, answer ready. I think the most important thing, and I've said this before, but the most important thing I think is make sure that you're in this for the love of playing and entertaining people, because if your primary motivation is fame or money, this is not for you, because chances of you becoming rich and famous are slim to none. Right. And the chances of being famous are equally daunting. So you've got to do this because you want to do this, not not for any other reason. Now, if you do become a success, that, you know, whatever that means to you, everybody has a different version of success. Some people that means you get to play your neighborhood pub. Some people that means you get to play stadiums and everything in between. But you have to be realistic about, you know, what it's going to take, because it's going to take everything you got and more, and then more, and then more. Mm-hmm. And it might not give you anything back. You know, it just might not. So enjoy playing every note or singing every note.
Sure.
And leave it at that. The rest will sort itself out.
I totally agree. The only thing I would add to that is, by all means, have a plan B, have a backup plan, because, you know, obviously you are a rarity, and we're very thrilled that you have reached the levels of success that you have. Most of us do not. So by all means, have a plan B. Don't, gosh, we've been watching some videos about guys that went out to LA to the Sunset Strip and tried to make it, and they ended up homeless on the street, and it was just awful. So, you know, again, we definitely count your blessings with you, Mike, that you are definitely a rare case, but it's well deserved. You guys have worked super hard to achieve all your success.
Absolutely.
Thank you. That's very kind. I've gone through a lot of years wondering if I deserve this. You know, it's so special.
Definitely.
It's just
definitely. We thank you so much for your time, Mike Kroeger from Nickelback, and we will definitely be watching for the new album coming out whenever the hell you guys want to put it out. There's no time for airline.
Well, we'll make sure it's no secret, especially around what you are. We'll make it a real obvious thing.
Yeah.
Great.
And I just wanted to say that thank you so much for coming on our show. You know, we've done a lot of cool episodes with a lot of cool dudes, and you know, I would, you know, want to see you guys keep your head up, man. Keep doing your thing. Don't worry about all the nonsense online and everything. You guys are just kicking ass, and just keep doing your thing, man. And you know, you're a big fan of other people, and that's all it takes, man. Just be you, and
definitely.
And I again, thank you so much for coming on our show. It was a pleasure, man, to talk to you.
You're amazing.
Thank you guys very much. Look forward to seeing you when I'm through Tulsa next.
Sounds
Absolutely.
Great. Mike Kroeger, thank you so much. Have a great night.
Shit.
What is this? Wow. Did you hear that? Okay. Well, guys, we don't know if we're even still on or not. What a nightmare. What a nightmare. I think probably what we need to do, and we'll talk about this offline, but there's obviously some stuff going on in our area. They've got holes dug all through the neighborhood. They're working on fiber optics and all kinds of stuff. We probably need to put stuff on hold until the work is done. Thank you for trying to hang with us through all of this mess, all the stuttering on the stream. It's really out of our control. There's not much we can do about it, but you know, bringing these national guys on and then having it stutter like that is just not. We want to put out a good quality product, so bear with us, y'all, and we do thank you for your support. I'm going to try to get through a couple more things, and then we're going to go ahead and scoot off of here. You think he said that because of the quality of the connection?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe.
What a bummer. Anyway, this Sunday we're gonna open. Well, us and Poster Child are gonna open for Enough's Enough at the Shrine. You can get tickets to that either at the door or at ticketstorm.com. We hope you'll join us for that. And then the final show at IDL Ballroom. This is it. It's gonna. I think the doors close a week after this show. Saturday, August 7th, 8 p.m. Dead Metal Society and Rocket Science will be performing the final rock show there at IDL. Thanks again to Todd Cook for setting up that interview with Mike from Nickelback. We appreciate all your help. Check out Identity Merch for all your merch needs. Thanks to Okie PC. We appreciate their sponsorship of the program as well. GregShipman.com. Want to give a shout out and a thank you to Greg and Michael for coming out to the show last weekend. We hope to have a segment out soon that documented that final national show there at IDL. And Adam Richmond from Surviving Oklahoma, thank you for your sponsorship as well. What do you think? You want to get out of here?
Yeah, it was fun. It's cool.
Great guy. Hopefully it'll play better on the replay.
Oh, it will.
You might try the replay because it might be more smooth. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll decide when we're coming back. We may put things on hold for a little bit. Just stay tuned to the page, and we'll let you know what we're going to do. Again, we want to send our condolences and best wishes and fond memories of Scott Gurley and Tommy Sartain and everybody that's suffering from the losses. We're just, our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with you guys. We love you very much. We'll see you soon. Y'all take care.
Bye, guys.
I can't even get us out of here.
Oh, no.
Here we go. Good night.